What is up, my movie fanatics? Welcome to another Movie News Monday. I say it every week. Tons of news, tons of good stuff, tons of weird stuff. And before I get into the news, please ignore this. I don't know how this ended up in my corner. So this week I want to start things off with a very unique, interesting story. We all know I'm obsessed with 80s films. We know that. I mean, it's nothing to hide. And I read this really interesting article that, if you all remember Pee Wee Herman, they did a movie, Tim Burton did a movie, Pee Wee's Big Adventure. And the iconic bicycle was in this film. And everybody remembers the red and white bicycle. Well, it has been sold a few times, and the last person who had it said, "I am not getting rid of this. It's staying here. I'll never give it up for millions, trillions, billions of dollars." Well, it's funny how time changes, because it sold. It went up on eBay, and it wouldn't be sold for anything less than $8,000. Now, the guy who bought it for $10,000. So, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of a loss, but it's really, nothing really to bark at the moon about. Anyway, so it sold on eBay after 26 bids, and it sold for $36,600. Holy crap, somebody must really love Pee Wee Herman, because that is insane. Like, you want to talk about making buku bucks off of something? I mean, talk about the profit increase on that. Yeah, and I think what's really cool about this story is that they sold it off of eBay. Like, it's an iconic movie prop. Selling off eBay is just, I don't know, I picture it being like in like a movie auction with like all kind of crazy stuff, like Ghostbuster guns and, just Star Wars and Star Trek and just all that unique stuff. But on eBay, $36,600. That's crazy. Just, I don't know. I don't get it. But it is the original bike from the movie, and kudos to the guy who got it, because that is a awesome piece of film history. Next up, I have talked about this film numerous times, and I have given my opinion about this film pretty harshly numerous times. Anyway, so we're going to leave my opinion out this time, and actually this completely threw me off. Anyway, Marc Webb has addressed the crazy amount of villains in this film. Now, we know for sure that the Green Goblin, Rhino, Electro are in it. We have also seen like little glimpses and teases of Doc Ock and Vulture. But that's not what's weird about it. And you watch the trailer and you see the Rhino pop up a few times in it, and you see, obviously Electro pop up just as, if not more, because he's the main villain, and you also see Green Goblin pop up. Marc Webb says that the Rhino only has 4 minutes of screen time. That just really struck me odd. Like, I mean, at least he addressed everything, and for me, I said not a lot of opinion, and I'm not, that kind of gets a little bit off of my shoulders, and that's all I'm gonna say. But what's crazy about it is that 4 minutes, and we see him a lot in the trailer. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I appreciate him like talking to people and saying like, look, we understand. We know what we're doing. We're gonna make the story tie in together, and it's not going to be hard to follow. It's not going to be this, it's not going to be that. So that's good news. So kudos to Marc for doing that and clearing the air, because there has been a lot of talk about it, and a lot of harsh opinions, a lot of positive opinions, and it was a good thing to do. And I think it's going to bring some more positive feedback and stuff that this movie needs. Next up, I don't talk a lot about video games, but I don't know why. Last week, if you haven't seen my video, I talked about the Minecraft movie. And this week, they have announced that the PlayStation 3 video game, The Last of Us, will be doing a movie. Now, the director of the game is writing the movie. If you have not played The Last of Us, you need to. I mean, if you're an Xbox guy, go borrow somebody's PlayStation. I mean, I have both systems, and I know, but the game is about a zombie apocalypse, and there's different, I'm not going to give too much away, there's different kinds of zombies. It's a very good objective based game where you have to be sneaky, but there's a lot of action, and then there's like you can create things, and it's really interesting to set up. Now, what's really cool about this is that I think the director of the game writing this movie is a good thing, because I feel that he's going to envision what the game makes you envision as you're like playing the game. And that's the kind of thing that worries me, that also that, you know, the game is so well done and just really gets you emotionally, I want to say, that I feel that, you know, I hope the movie just doesn't flop, you know. And also thing I want to talk about with this is, how are they going to do it? We have seen multiple video games made into movies. You know, Hitman, Max Payne, those are just the ones on top of my head. We have seen different types, but I wonder if they're going to actually get actors, like, you know, physical people, or are they just going to do like an animation film? Either way, I think they can make it work. And I'm really interested to see how they do this, and I can't wait to hear more about it, because I just really love the game, period. Ryan Reynolds, we have seen him play in many different types of movies, different roles, all kinds of stuff. We've seen him do superheroes. We've seen him do serious businessmen. We've seen him do crazy, possessed guys. You know, he's very versatile on his movies, and I enjoy that. I really am a big fan of Ryan Reynolds. Lionsgate just casted Ryan Reynolds to be in the new comedy horror movie The Voices. Now, he's actually playing a serial killer that just seems like an everyday guy that talks to his pets. This is interesting, and I think Ryan Reynolds is going to pull this off very well, because, you know, it's like that comedy quirky side of him, but also the real, like, the serious, like, when I'm taking somebody's life, I'm just gonna go mad. And I think it's gonna be very interesting. And I want to hear more about it, because I am a big fan of Ryan Reynolds, and I loved him in Amityville Horror, but I've also loved him in, like, The Proposal and Best Friends and some of that stuff too. But when you put, like, a well-written, like, comedy with, like, horror, like, stuff involved with it, kind of like, almost kind of like Dexter, you see that, where they really balance out the horror, like, well, I don't want to say horror, but thriller mixed with the comedy and, like, the everyday Joe life. If you can do that well and merge it together, it's going to make a really good film. And I want to hear more about this. Last but not least, and you know, this kind of upsets me, and that's all I'm going to start this off with. This really upsets me. Steven Spielberg is thinking about remaking West Side Story. No, please don't. Please, no, because I think this is one of those times, like, you need to look at it and be like, this is such an amazing classic film. I don't want to go near that, because nothing's going to be as good as the original. It's not going to happen. It's a musical. It's classic. I mean, you know, Footloose, there were so many mixed opinions on it, and, you know, like I said before, I saw the new Footloose versus the old one first, and I enjoyed the original more. But there's just some movies you just need to just back away from and say, no, we can't make this work. We just can't. And that's one of them. I mean, like, what's next? Are you gonna remake you know, Gone with the Wind, or, you know, Miracle on 34th Street? Like, don't. There comes a time and a place where you need to step back. I'm not against remakes. I'm not saying that at all. You know, I think there's a time and a place where people need to witness remakes of movies, because they are classics for a reason, and people, you know, need to, you know, get involved with the new stuff so they can go back to the old stuff. Thank you for joining me on another Movie News Monday. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Do not forget to like and comment on this video on anything you've heard of. If you know any more to the stories, I like that. Real quick side note, you guys have been doing that a lot, and you might know a little bit more or hear a little bit more than I do. I love to see the comments about what you think of the news and the upcoming stuff, and just flood my comment thing, please. Thank you, everybody. As always, happy watching, and take care.